So yesterday we talked about how we have, do a simple copy data activity. Okay, we have done again copy activity, but we have done one level above. We have used dynamic pipelines. Okay, so the purpose of this dynamic pipeline is to, you know, pick any number of, files that is available in my input container. Okay, one by one, and it is loading the data into SQL table. Okay, and we also seen that if SQL table is not present, how we can create that SQL table. Okay, if it is present, then it will upload. If it is not present, it will create automatically. Otherwise, you have to use a create statement, SQL statement, to create that table. Okay, so this is now open. I can go to author. I can see my pipeline which we just have created yesterday. So this was the pipeline. So now if we have to make a dynamic, we have done parameterization, okay, at dataset level and at pipeline level. Okay. So guys, if you are not doing it by yourself, you would not be able to, understand. And I think you have to redo these things two time or three times. Then only you would be able to understand, or maybe you can do the practice. Okay, so practice is a must. Okay, without practice, I mean, we cannot, think that we would be able to understand the concept. Okay, but I'm just giving you a revision of what we have done yesterday. Okay, so we simply drag a copy activity. Then when we have defined a source, in source I have to create a data set. So this data set I have created. So if I go inside this data set is pointing to the input container because my files are available in the input container. If you want to see, let's see, go and open the input container. I will go inside the container. This is my input container. Okay, I can see these are the list of files we have. All right, and I can see we have cars underscore a2, we have plain underscore, sorry, not underscore, plain dot csv. These are CSV files. Daily sales, department name, emp data dot csv, email dot csv, right? Something like that. So in input container, but if I have to pick the files dynamically means the purpose is the same pipeline should be used for loading data for cars, same pipeline should be used for loading data for planes, and so on, right? Just a second. Okay, same data for planes and cars both. So what I have to do, here it is. I should not, give the name of the file fixed. Okay, so instead of giving a particular file name, I will create a parameter with, and then this parameter name I have given as file name. So instead of providing any constant file name, static file name, if I have to make it dynamic, this is known as dataset parameterization. So if I go there and what I did, I selected this parameter because so if you see at the rate dataset means this parameter is defined at dataset level. Okay, and because I can see that all my files is, is having some keyword, the name is there but it is having some keyword as a suffix dot csv because it is a csv file. Okay, so I have added .csv with use of concat function, okay, concat expression. Okay, any doubt till now? Okay, so when I did this, okay, then automatically, I mean, this file name parameter, because I created at dataset level, this file name parameter will be available here and it will be blank. Okay, so if I have to run the pipeline for cars, I should place a cars. If I run the pipeline of planes, I should place here plane. If I run the pipeline for department name, I should place this, value as department name. But again, it will become a hard-coded thing. I want to make this thing, supply of these values on runtime basis. So basically, in a runtime, what will be, executable? So pipeline will be executable. In runtime, we executes the pipeline. So the purpose is to, pass this file name on the runtime. Okay. So that's why I clicked on white canvas. Now I can see I have created two parameters, one for file name and another for table name. File name is used in source dataset and table name is used in sync dataset because we have to, copy the data from the source to the SQL table. Okay. Yes, it's very, very important to understand. I know few peoples have already understood, but I'm repeating because I know few peoples might not have understood. So please do ask me, pinpoint me if you have not understood till now. Guys, if you have not understood, please pinpoint me. Otherwise, the next section will be, a Japanese for you. Okay, it will be a Chinese for you if you're not understanding the actual parameterization. Okay. Anyways. So I have created two parameters at pipeline level. So doing this, I have done parameterization, now at pipeline level. Okay. So whatever, parameter my data set is using, okay, parameter my data set is using, I used to supply that parameter either manually, there is a one option, either manually, okay, or else I can supply the parameter through pipeline. Okay, so it means if I have to supply the, because in early previous case I did it manually. Okay, but if I have to supply this parameter value of the dataset through pipeline, it means at pipeline also I have to create a parameter. Okay, so that's why I am creating a parameter for at pipeline level, and these are the two parameters I created for at pipeline level. Okay, now here you can see the source of this file name parameter at pipeline is created only for feeding the source. That's why I simply went there and this will show me the pipeline parameters. Okay, so if I select file name, automatically, this file name will be fed through pipeline. Okay, then if I go to sync, the same exercise I do create a data set for sync. So data, what is a syncs? What is what is our sync system? Can anyone please tell me? SQL database, because my purpose I explained you to do a copy activity from any files, input files into SQL table. So my syncs will be in SQL database. Okay. So that's why when I am creating a data set, I used to create a data set of type SQL DB. Correct. And in SQLDB, you have to select the table names. Okay, but I have not selected the table name. Okay, what I did, I did the parameterization at, to feed the data for table name. Okay, so I created a parameter known as table name. Okay, and I selected that table name parameter over here. Agreed? Any questions till now? Again, if I go and check my pipeline, now it is asking for table name. So again, if I have to feed this table name, one option is to feed through manually, another option is to feed through pipeline. Okay. So in this case, I'm feeding through pipeline. So I'm feeding through pipeline. Okay. It's done. Now it's quite easy. I can debug and see the results. Okay. So it's very much clear, guys. If it is understood, I can move to the next case study, which I have to show it to you. Okay. If it is not understood, then we can stop here itself. Any questions? Okay. No questions? Can we move ahead? Okay, if there is no question, then probably we can move ahead. Okay. Okay. So now we are going to have a very interesting kind of case study, the next one. Okay. So the next thing is that, I am having a SQL DB, Azure SQL DB. Okay. You all know. Now, in this Azure SQL DB, I am having multiple tables. Okay. Fine. So if I select this query and try to run in the SQL DB, I will go to home. I will open my SQL database. I will open the query editor. I will enter the password. I hit on OK. It's again my IP address got changed. I'm allowing it and I can hit on OK. Right? If I paste my query, it is saying database start from database name dot information dot information underscore schema and dot tables, right? Where table type is equals to base type. So first of all, I should enter the my database name in this query. Okay, and what is the my database name? This is my database name. Okay, so I should replace my database name here. So every SQL database has, some tables which give you more information. Like, and this table is known as information underscore schema dot tables. Means this table will give you all the informations. Okay. This table is automatically available in this database. Okay. So this database contain this table which will give you all the list of tables. Okay, so if I run this query, I can see it is giving me, because I put a star, so it means it will give me all the columns which is available in this table, right? So first column is table catalog. What is my table catalog? Okay. Second, table schema. Table schema is DBO only. Okay. Table name. What is the name of the table? And table type. What is the table type? Base table. Okay. So if I only run this query, then it will show me more number of tables. Base table. It is view also. System defined view. Okay. Database firewall view. Okay. So so only two views are currently available. If you are, this is system view, so that's why table is underscore schema is coming as sys, not DBO. Okay, DBO is something which is created by you. So if you are going to create any view, then again it will become like a view. But I want to see the base table. Okay, so you understood this query. Now I want to do something additional. Okay, an additional thing is that I want to first create the list of I want to create a list of tables, okay, available in SQL database, okay, and based on this list, I want to pick all tables, okay, one by one, okay, and after picking all the tables one by one, I want to perform copy activity, okay, so that my data from these SQL tables will move to output container. Okay. Have you understood the scenario, guys? Have you understood the scenario? Shall I repeat? Okay, I'm repeating if some of you have not understood the scenario, because understanding the scenario is very, very important to do any case studies. Okay, to give any scenario. Okay, so step one. Step one is, first of all, I will create a list. List of what? List of all the tables available in my SQL database. And how I will create that list? Using this query. Okay, this query will help me to create a list first. And once this list is created, what I will do, I will, you know, I will pick all the, for example, this list contain 10 tables. So I will pick every table one by one, and I will do a copy activity, and this copy activity will move my SQL table data. Move means copy, not move does not mean that it will delete the data from SQL table. It will copy the data from SQL table, and it will upload this table into output container. This is my requirement. Okay. So first and foremost thing, we have to first check in all this requirement what are the different activities we have to use in the pipeline. So whenever you are creating a pipeline, you have to first think about which components you will be using. Okay, so you know that you must be having link services with you. So your SQL DB is there, and this SQL DB, for this SQL DB you already have link services, so no worries at that point. Okay, and if you have to generate the data in the output container, for that also you are having a link services. Okay, so there is a no point of worry. Now second thing, what you have to create, you have to create a data set you will create on runtime basis. Okay, at the same time when you are creating a pipeline, you will create a data set also. Okay, all right. Now the first problem is how to create a list. Okay, so list can be created using lookup operation. Activity, you can say, not operation, activity in ADF pipeline. Okay, so basically what it will do, this lookup activity will take your query that you have generated just now, and based on that query it will first create a list. Okay, so let's do this exercise now. So I'm going to discard all the changes if it is there. I'm canceling it. I'm creating a new pipeline. And in this new pipeline, I can say PL underscore. I can say for each SQL table. Okay, for each SQL table. Okay, copy to output container. Right, I should put like this. It will make looks more logical. Okay. Okay, now first step, what is my first step? To create the list of tables which is available in SQL database. So I told you this thing we can achieve through lookup activity. Okay, now I can just drag and drop this lookup activity, and I can rename is lookup SQL DB tables. Okay, all right. Rest of the things we can put yeah, as it is. Okay, it's by default, so you know the meaning of all these things, like what is the timeout. Okay, this is the number of days. Okay, and what is the retry, maximum number of retry. If you want to retry for two time, three time, one time, you can do that. Okay, and you can also specify the retry frequency. Okay, now let's go to setting. Okay, so in setting, what it is asking for, guys? Dataset. And why it is asking for dataset? Because it has to look from some source, right? So what I should do here? What kind of dataset I have to create? I told you my purpose. My purpose is to look up these values, okay? These tables. These are the list of tables I want to look up. Yes, because I am trying to fetch the data from SQL DB. So that's why when I'm creating a data set, I should choose SQL DB. So I should hit on new, and I should choose as Azure SQL DB. Okay. So if I choose the Azure SQL DB, let's give a proper name. And I can put DS list SQL DB. table. Okay, let's give the name like this. And because I have chosen Azure SQL DB, so that's why Azure SQL DB related link services is coming over here. Then it is asking for table name. Now you tell me, shall I have to give any table name or not? I should wish I should not give because yeah, because I'm not going for any table entry. Okay. So instead of giving anything, I should put okay, right? And because if I have not given a table name, it means my data set is not complete. Okay. So what I can do, I here use query option is also there, right? So in lookup, we have something known as use query option. Okay. So instead of table, because if I select table, then table name, it will search for table name and it will throw an error. So we have three options actually for this data set, for SQL DB data set. Okay. One option, table name. Second option, you can write any query. Third option, you can write any stored procedure. Okay. So this is good. I will put query option, and whatever query I have written over here, I will select this query and I will paste it here. Agreed? Right? So this will serve my purpose. Now we have one option known as first row only. Okay. This time let's keep it as it is, but I will explain you the feature just now. Okay. So rest of the things are okay. Let's debug this just to see whether my query is working or not working. Or I have to see whether I am able to create the list or not. Okay. So you can see it succeeded. So I can see the output from here. So if I see the output from here, I can do a copy to clipboard. I can open my notepad, very simple, and I can paste my, this thing. So is it displaying all the values, guys? You can see this is the value it generated. Is it displaying all the value? Only one table. Why? Why it is? Yes, first row only is selected. So it means if I will select the first row, it will only display one table. Okay. So what I should do? I should not select only first row. Okay. What I should select? I should uncheck this first row. And if I uncheck this first row, again I will test this through debug option. Okay. And I will have to see whether this time it is creating a list of all the values or not. Okay. Let me refresh it once again. I'm not sure it is succeeded. Okay. So this time if I do a copy to clipboard and I just backspace it and then paste it. Now what is the thing? It is selecting all the values. Okay. All the table name. First table name is EMP data, second one is countries, third one is movies, fourth one is cars, okay, and fifth one is planes, okay, and sixth one is finance. So it is selecting all the values. And apart from that, you have to understand one thing. Whenever you see this bracket, okay, this indicates my array. Are you aware about the array? Okay, you might have heard or used this array word. Okay, basically whenever we do C programming, first of all, I'm sure some of you has done that. We encounter with this word. Or whenever we see the mathematics of 12th standard, we got to know about these words. Okay, array. So here we can see that this list is created, but list is created in the form of array. Why? Because it is having two different things. It is having count, it is having values. Agreed? So what is the count? Count is having 8. So with this list, if you are only interested to, use the value of count, you can use it for count. But if you want to see the actual values also in that list, then you can go to value. And in this value, you can do this, all these things. So that's why it is known as array. Okay, I will let you know how to use this array, but you have to understood, that while if we uncheck this box of first row only, okay, I will find this result. This will be having two category of, information. One category will give me the count only, and second category will give me the values only. Okay, so this is done. Are you okay till now, guys? Any questions till now? Okay, now very interesting. I have created the list. Okay. Now I have to pick all the tables one by one. One by one, it means in programming methodology, you might have seen loop, creating loops. Okay. So anyways, I'm not going to teach you programming right now because it will become very complicated, but I will use some of the programming methodology also. Okay, but we will not use any program. We will use everything in a graphical manner. Okay, so right now to pick all the table entries one by one, I will use for each loop. For each loop. Okay, so loop, I told you that if I have to first I have created the list, and after this list, if I have to pick all the table entries one by one, I will be using for each loop. Okay, so let's use this for each loop, then only you would be able to understand. So here I can type for each. This is for each loop. Okay, I will use this for each loop here. Okay, and the output of this list will become input to this for each loop. Okay, because the here I have seen that list is created. Okay, so first of all, I should connect this. So output of this, lookup activity will become input to the for each loop. All right. Then if I go inside the for each loop, I have to specify. I can specify description also for each table list. Okay. So you can leave as it is also, no problem. Okay. Then I will go to setting. Okay. In setting, the first checkbox is sequential. So if you will maintain the sequence, it will be good. Because if it randomly picks the value, it's not good. Okay, so let's maintain the sequence. So when you are maintaining the sequence, it is asking for for what are the items you have. If you want to go inside a loop, okay, so you can see we have something known as activity. So I told you for each item I want to do a copy activity. Okay, so in activity I can place the copy activity where I will use to copy the data from SQL table to output container, right? That I can do here. But before doing it, I want to keep a logic, okay, that how, because the see see here. So basically the output of this list will go to the for each loop as a input to this. And this in input also we have to specify either you want to select count or you want to select value, right? Because your list is having two entities, count or value, right? So here you have to specify for which item. Uh, so definitely I will choose value. Count will not give me the file name. Agreed? So I will choose a value. So here I have to specify item. Okay. So if I hit there, you have to choose add dynamic content. Okay, and if you are choosing add dynamic content, it will give you, because you connected the output of the lookup to the input to the for each loop with this branch. That's why it is saying activity output means you can see lookup SQL DB table. So output is this. Now in this output, we have something known as count. Do you want to have a count? No, right? You want to have a value. So you will have to select this value. Okay, simple. Have you understood, guys? So I'm just repeating one more time. Okay. So list we are creating through lookup activity, right? But lookup will give me two entities, count and value. So I connected my lookup list with the, as as a input to for each loop, because I have to pick all the table one by one, correct? But in this, we have to select this value only, not the count. And imagine I'm not selecting from here. I want to use this always. Okay, this is again. So output is there, but output is having two different values. So I will put dot manually, and I can see two things are there. I will select value. Okay. So it's the same thing. If you are selecting directly, this will also give you the same result. If you select from output and then put dot, it will give you the same result. Understood, guys? Agreed? I will hit OK. Okay. Now I will go to the next section, because I have now, define the for each logic, that how it will pick the table one by one. Now, if I pick the table one by one, let's suppose it has picked the first table, and first table was EMP data, then it will have to do copy activity for the EMP data. Agreed? It will have to do copy activity for EMP data. Now, how it can be managed? Okay, it can be managed through copy activity. So in this activity, because I defined for each this item, so in copy activity you can see this is the for each, but no activity is defined. So I will hit on this pencil icon, and what I should do now, please tell me, guys. As per this diagram, I have to do a copy activity, so I will use copy, and I will drag this copy activity here. Then I will again do a copy data from SQLDB to output container. Okay, very simple. Now, because in SQLDB, you know, again the same thing. In SQLDB, you are not copying any specific table. You are copying based on what? Based on this list, right? And you have to define a source data set, correct? So what I have to do, I have to first create a data set. So I should hit on new. Now this data set is of SQLDB type or ADLS Gen 2 type? You tell me. Because this data is coming from where, first of all? The source data is coming from where? SQL. Data from SQL. I have specifically mentioned this data from SQL. So if this data is coming from SQL, then definitely my source data set is of type SQL, right? I hit on this. Okay. Then I can choose the name also, ds underscore SQL tables list. Okay, something like that. I should not put list, but SQL tables I can put. Okay, let's choose the link services. Now, what I should do? Shall I specify any table name? Yes or no? No, because I'm not selecting any particular table. Okay, I have to select the table based on output of this. Getting a point? So my for each will pass the table name one by one item. Okay, so it picks the value column and it put this as an item. Please remember, for each loop, work picks the value and they are putting it as an item 1, item 2, item 3, and so on, because we have 8 entries, so it will go for item 8 level, right? So let's hit on OK without selecting any table. Okay, now the thing is, if I but this is incomplete again, correct? So in that case, what I should do, because I have to pick the table name, so I cannot switch to query or stored procedure. Agreed? Is this concept understood by you guys? We cannot switch to query or stored procedure because we have to pick table. We have to pick particular table one by one. So what I should do, I should go inside my data set, because I have not specified any table name. So basically what I should do, I should create a parameter, right? The same concept. The last case study that we have learned about the parameter, is having same concept. Okay, so if I hit on new and if I create a parameter known as table name, okay, I can go there and instead of table name I can give a parameter, but it is showing me drill down. Okay, so how I can make this enabled? In last case study we did this. I will hit on this edit button and instead of table name I can hit on this add dynamic contain and I can choose this table name. So this table name is defined at dataset level. This parameter is defined at dataset level, this table name parameter. That's why it is mentioned as at the rate dataset dot table name. Agreed? Now if hit on OK, right? Now this will, in this copy activity, this table name appears automatically, right? So someone has to pass this value once again. Getting a point? Now, if I hit on add dynamic content, right? So because in earlier previous case, I mean previous case study, what we did, we passed this table name through pipeline. But here, are we going to pass this table name through pipeline? No, we are going to pass this table name from output of this for each loop. Agreed? So here we have to pass this value from output of the for each loop. So you can see for each iterator, you can go here and you can put current item for each list, right? At the rate item. Okay. And in this at the rate item, because item contains two things, count and value. So what I should do, I should put dot. Now this time it will not auto populate you. Okay. So you have to copy this thing value. No, sorry. It's pointing to value only, but you have to give file name. So you have to copy table underscore name. Item is there, but in value contains four things: table catalog, table schema, table name, table type, so on, right? So you have to give table dot underscore. This is the thing, right? And if you hit on OK, this will become your complete status, right? It will pick the table name one by one, right? And definitely, if it is picking the table one by one, let's go to sync this time. Now again I have to create a sync data set. Now again I will go to my case study. So here what would be my sync data set of type of my sync data set? It's CSV only, because you have to generate your output in output container in a CSV format. So that's why you will choose sync data set as ADLS Gen 2. Okay, so here I will choose ADLS Gen 2 and I will choose CSV and I will just give a correct name. Okay, SQL tables. Okay, using for each. So I should give something like this. I will choose my release gen 2, then I will choose browse my directory. Okay, so what I should do, mm, I can hit on output directory, but in output we have lots of files, right? So instead of giving any file name, okay, okay. So first row is header, and because we are generating output, so it will become none. It will become none. I will hit OK. Okay, let's go one more time. Okay, so I have to go here inside this output data set. Okay, and I will do some kind of settings also. What kind of settings we can do? I want to create a directory. Okay, let me go there. Home, inside container, output, right? Let's create a directory, and I want to choose my directory actually. And I want to create a directory with the name for each, because I don't want to, mess up with these number of files. Okay, I want to put my files inside this directory so that I can easily identify the generated output. Okay, So I created a directory. Now I can, browse once again in my output container. I can go inside for each. I can hit OK. So automatically directory is coming. Okay. But again, the file name is not there. Okay. Because the file name, it will generate the file inside this directory. Right. Guys, understood? Okay. So I think we are good. Let's publish this. Okay. Now let's debug this. You can see the results. Let me hide this one. If you see the lookup, this is the list. Step one is success, right? Then we'll go to, you know, so step, this is in the, it is in progress. Why? Because item count. Okay, okay. Uh, One second. Why it is only pointing to count? Okay. It succeeded, right? It's working fine. Because we have 8 files, right? So the list will be longer. Okay. So if you want to see the results, you can go inside and check the results. One by one, the files are coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is come, 2 is yet to come. Okay. Guys, isn't it interesting case study? Now, you guys please tell me who else have not understood the case study. Yes, everything is succeeded now. You can see for each loop also succeeded. Now, if you see, if you refresh this, you will see all the 8 files listed over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So everything what is available in your SQL database table now is copied in the output file. Okay. Yeah. So this will only dependent if you do the exercise from first case study till now. Okay. So I'm stopping it here, and I wish that everyone will